We've been talking about it for years. We've been doing it for months, and now it's time for a deep dive on organized play in DCC RPG. But not with just anyone. No more, but how does it work? Or what is that anyway? We went to the man himself, the Slime Lord, the judge who's run 1,000 Insane Worlds, the expert on deep space turtles, the provider of Blades Against Bandwidth. Yes, of course, it's X-Crawl Classics' own DJ LaBoss himself, Judge Brendan. All this, and we're going to talk in the tavern, prep for Gen Con, and even for other stuff, other cons, and much, much more on this month's Spellburn. I'm here with Judge Jen.
Good evening.
And Judge James.
An invisible tip of the hat to you.
And Judge Brendan.
Hey, everybody.
And let's head on over to the tavern. Boy, am I thirsty.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, Judge Jen, you are up first.
Jeez, why?
And well, let's just you can take a nap after this, but
Cool.
We need the Gen Con update.
Okay, I have a little note here that there's some information on Enter the Dagon and the Spell Duel tournament that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, to the surprise of nobody, this is going to be orchestrated by none other than Harley Stroh himself.
Nice.
And after working with the staff at Gen Con, we realized, okay, this is the way we need to do it, folks. It's actually going to be like entered on the books for each hour that it's going to be run, as opposed to like a 4-hour block. And the purpose of this is if you have not experienced the tournaments that have occurred in the past where you sit at a table, you try to make it through as many encounters as possible until you die, and then you get up away from that table, the next person comes and fills in your seat. So it's a revolving line, and it's going to be generic tickets only.
Yes.
And don't worry if you don't have them yet. That means paper tickets only too, which kind of stinks, but the Gen Con HQ is like kitty corner from the wizard van in the stadium. So it's literally right across the hall. You can run over, drop $2, get a generic, come back in line, get a character sheet, sit down, have fun. You could be there for 5 to 40 minutes, depending.
Yep.
But that's going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, from 9 to 1 and from 2 to 6.
Wow.
So you get 8 hours a day.
Wow.
And then the finals are going to be held on Sunday. I think he's starting at 10, something like that. Don't quote me. But all of the information is, it should be in the Gen Con books. We are actually triple and quadruple checking that right now and making sure that everything is right across the board. Just because of how frenetic all of this has gotten. On to the actual tavern talk. Once again, to the surprise of nobody, it is all Gen Con all the time over here. Events, housing, badges, booth layouts, staff scheduling, stock prep, logistics. Yeah, all that good stuff. The setup crew shows up on Monday this year. Brendan is ecstatic because he's not part of the setup crew this year.
Wow. I mean, he's only running like 80 hours of games in 3 days, right?
So, plus, don't forget the COVID booster, because 70,000 people equals lots of yucky millions of concrete journey things, and nobody.
I got mine.
Nobody has time for that crap.
Good.
The Goodman Games offices and warehouse are officially slated to be closed the week following Gen Con, so there's all sorts of stuff going on behind the scenes that'll be happening during that week that we're closed, and there'll be some overhauls, stuff in the warehouse, and there's trade shows imminently after Gen Con that we have to just like immediately change gears for. So absolutely no downtime, and that's okay too. I'm really loving it.
Sounds like you got it on lock, though.
Jen's all over it.
Doors
Yeah.
open. I mean, there are some things that are a little bit beyond the deadline that I gave myself, but they'll get done in the next 48 hours. So if anyone's wondering about things like badge pickup and all that, just stay tuned to your email. It's coming. After this, I think I'm off the hook for conventions, except for those 2 trade shows, and then game hold, but I won't be the one running everything. So that'll be kind of a new and fun experience.
Yes.
And there's editing and more editing and yeah, stuff.
So
Wow.
game hole, you get to just like come to a con and drink and not have to like do
Oh,
everything.
you know me. I'll probably be at a booth anyway.
Well, I know
But,
that, but I'm
yeah.
saying you don't have like you could actually, have fun, a little bit of fun.
Maybe.
Do it. Have some fun.
I mean,
Okay.
I'll be there. I have my own car for this one, so it'll be nice.
I tried to open the door, but if okay.
I'll show up. Yeah.
Now wait a
It'll be
second.
good. It'll be
So-
good. I might even play a game.
So I have other questions. There's still a regular, what we've come to think of as the quote unquote regular tournament going on, right? At Gen
Oh.
Con.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Brandon, you want that one?
Absolutely, yes. So we will be doing X-Crawl tournament at Gen Con. This is Save X-Crawl. It's actually our showrunner for this year is Mighty Mark Bruner, who has organized the whole thing, and he was amazing at it. And it's fantastic. So it's going to be, what do you call it? Double elimination, I think it is. You play one day, top 2 teams go on to play the last bit of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some great judges who are all lined up to do it. I myself will be running. I think I took the maximum amount of slots you could take. So I'll be running a bunch of slots in the early tables. And the way they're doing it, this is so fun the way we're doing it. I'll have a table, and the players, every judge is just running one of the 5 rooms that are going to be a part of the tournament. So you'll cycle through all of the different judges over the course of the first set. So I'm running one room. I don't even know how many times. A lot of times. I don't know, 30. That's not right, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited about it. Then top 2 teams go on to the finals, which is going to be a lot of fun. And you know what I did this week? I went and ordered the trophies. I just went and did that. And I learned something. I thought I will go into these trophy shops and I will look and find just the right X-Crawl thing. But it turns out every trophy shop you go to, when you ask, they just break out the same catalogs that they all have and flip through and go, this one? So there's no point in not doing it online. I was really trying to go local, and it was just like we sat and flipped through books. So, but I hope everyone's gonna, I hope it's gonna be really fun. I think it's gonna be a really good time. I really enjoy this adventure, and I'm looking forward to rolling dice with y'all in Indianapolis.
So
there are a few things that we can't give away for like some of the surprises waiting out there for you. But one of the X-Crawl related surprises is that you can sign up to get a partial pickup of your pledge rewards at Gen Con.
Yes, partial pickup. So did we have so last call it was so we were limiting it to 100. We had to have books actually airdropped in. I think we have, last I saw it was 44 signups so far. So
I think we're in the range of 50.
Yeah, so you still have time, but don't dawdle if you're going to be there and you did the X-Crawl Kickstarter.
But
Mhm.
how did they do it?
If you're a backer, the link has been posted in one of the updates.
Okay, so
Go to the Google form that's in there. Yeah.
Okay, it's on Kickstarter or Backer Kit.
Kickstarter.
I believe.
Kickstarter.
Oh shoot, that one was Kickstarter.
So go to Kickstarter for
That's
I think on
X-Crawl
the
and
last
find the form
you know,
and follow the
That's right.
instructions in the posting in the.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put the page in the chat. room.
Brilliant, and I'll put
Thank
it in the
you.
show notes. But don't wait if you're hearing this,
Mm-mm.
et cetera, et cetera. Figure it out quick because you got to do it. Okay, good. Okay, wait, but that's not all. Isn't there some kind of funnel craziness going on as well?
There is. Yes, there's this year's funnel experience.
Which is like a whole new thing, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, well, we did it last year.
Okay.
So this is year 2 of the
Year
funnel
2.
experience. So funnel experience. I think there's tickets available. No.
Oh heavens, no! We've been sold out for ages.
So there's no. So that's not happening. But you never know. Show up. Last year, a lot of people just if enough people showed up, somebody grabbed them and ran a game. So
That's true.
Yeah.
I can't
This
promise
year-
that, but
But wait, there is more.
This year, the tables are going to be a little bit more at a premium, just because there are so many events going on.
Yeah.
There is more, and it kind of pertains to the chunk of our mighty deeds, but in a 5e flavor. So there's going to be a lot of 5e stuff going on, run by Goodman Games, and I highly recommend it. There's going to be some tickets available shortly, because we've had some more GMs come in for certain time slots, so we'll be able to open more last minute sales, and that'll be cool too.
I heard from a little Goodman Games bird about demo Gorgons right there at the booth.
Oh, dang
We're go-
it, John.
Am I not allowed to talk about this? Let me talk about it. It sounds awesome.
Please talk about it.
So I guess there's going to be you go to Gen Con and there's always people like on the floor, like playing the various games right there at the booth, and Goodman Games is going to do it too. So I guess John has reached out to some people, and we're just going to play like hour slots, demoing DCC, rolling some dice, killing some characters.
Nice.
But to be clear, those demo slots would only be like 15 minutes long per pop.
Yeah, they're short, like roll some dice, check it out, have some fun.
Die.
Just to give people a quick taste.
And a moose bouche.
Very nicely done. So if you're bringing someone along who's totally new to the system, that's a very good way to introduce them. So swing by the booth, and jump in.
But as usual, Jen just kind of just sort of gave me the hand. As soon as she started to tell me, then she was like, no. So what the heck is the funnel experience? Tell me the funnel. What is it?
Sure.
So Brandon knows more.
Okay.
Boy, do I. Yes, so it is a 3-hour adventure. It is a character funnel. It's designed to introduce new people to the game, to the system. So we did it last year for the first time, and it was a lot of fun. And boy, were there some really cool stories about it. So can't wait to hear some more. So this year's funnel, experience, I think is going to be a very good time. It's got some interesting encounters, and I think everyone's going to find it delightfully easy and fun. So sign on up.
Is there new adventure for this, or how does
this
it work?
Is a brand new adventure penned by yours truly.
Nice.
So it's I hope people really enjoy it. I hope people have a lot of fun with it.
What's it called?
It is the Doom Spell of Amaranth Seahold. Or pretty close to that, if not. And I definitely enjoyed putting that together and play testing it, and thanks to all my play testers who did come out and do it. But it was a lot of fun. It was I don't know. I hope. It was like I'm going up against myself from last year, so I'm like, come on, you got to beat Brendan of yesteryear. Come on now, you got to do it. So we'll hopefully people come sign up and have a good time with it. So
it's not like you're like, okay, you're summoned by a lady, and she says you have to walk over this bridge, and there's a hole. There's a hole in the sea. There's a hole in the sea, and you go down into the sea, and then like I mean, it's like it's not just a part 2 of something, right? It's like
No, this is a whole new.
We don't do that, you know. We're not Marvel. We don't like have the 15th sequel of whatever, right? We're not. We're like, man, we're squeezing,
Julian.
we're squeezing Brendan's brain for every little, you know. Okay.
And, which is totally fair, and frankly, it's what I bring to the table is brain squeezings.
You got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Every neuron, every spark we're getting out of that sucker.
Man, we love
keep on using me till I'm all used up, you know.
Well, it's really cool because I think for all the, you know, DCC curious folks out there, that is got to be the best way to engage them. Like bring them in, like not no rules, but you know, obviously the funnel is the lightest, easiest thing, even a shorter little commitment.
But it gives you a taste. It gives you a flavor of how the system works and of the funnel, which is such a hilariously integral part of the overall DCC experience. I think it really gives you a good idea of what you're staring down the barrel of, you know?
Right. And then if you play a game and it's really easy and fun and a bunch of characters die, then the one thing that people keep telling you, they go, DCC has your characters die. Then, you know, you're like, yeah, but it was super, like, I already did that and they all died. It was actually really funny. And that was pretty cool. And then, you know, etc. So, okay. Well, cool. Good to know. Well, we should do that at more cons than just Gen Con, because like bring folk, I don't know, just thinking.
I mean, you know, you won't get a complaint out of me, you know?
I mean, I guess you can always just run funnels at any con, obviously. So, you know, I should shut up and do that. But, you know, anyway.
I was thinking about that recently. Like, I haven't, like, I didn't run, I'm not running any sections of the funnel experience. I'm doing all the tournament stuff and a couple other things. But boy, I kind of wish I was like, I haven't run a funnel at a con in quite a while. And I don't know. I think maybe next year it's time for something new. Or who knows, maybe I'll run this one. So Amaranth Seahold, come visit me.
That sounds pretty cool.
Nice.
Okay, so thanks guys, Jen and Brendan. I picked your brain quite a bit there, but there's a lot going on. I mean, just those 3 huge events, not to mention people running, you know, S loads of well, like, can I say that, Alana? Oh darn it. James, what the heck are you doing while you're there?
Oh man, I am I'll be there and I'll be running Token Collect. And I think it's under actually Avatar Collect is the title of it. But that's a net crawl 0 level funnel. And I've had the pleasure of both of you in Brendan and Julian playing in a little bit of the game.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like weird and dangerous versions of classic 80s coin-op video games with maps and all sorts of little things to kind of doodads to push around, and then I'll kill your programs mercilessly. So I'm running a couple sessions of that. And then, of course, I'm joining Save X Crawl as DJ Super Death in the house.
Nice.
This will be my second time running Save X Crawl.
That's beautiful.
Because we ran it back for online, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep, we ran
was that 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2020. We ran that for yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Was that the first Cyclops Con or the second?
No, it was the second one.
Second one.
Okay.
Oh, so was that 2021 then?
Yes, I think it was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. 3 years ago, yeah. It's that whole period is like this weird bliss. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
yeah.
That was a decade, something like that.
I swear to God, like, you know,
lost years.
Yeah, came out very differently on the other side. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to suit up as DJ Super Death, and then I'm gonna also have some printouts, some print quality versions of the latest version of Netcrawl 0.4. So I'll have a few of those to sell, and
awesome.
And the big thing that I'm really excited about is, of course, the backer kit for Netcrawl launches on September 3rd, but I'm not doing it alone. I'm super excited. I'm going to be doing it with Brian Shutter, Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. We're both going to launch our projects together as cross collab backer kit crowdfunding, and actually Token Collect is our gift or whatever if both the things fund. So if you back both of them, you're going to get a copy of Token Collect as a reward.
Nice.
How
Are
do
you
say
going to have
no?
anything like cards or postcards or business cards or something, like little reminders that maybe you could leave with us at the booth?
It's funny you should ask, and I didn't even put it in the show notes, so you're like prescient almost. I just got
It's my job, sir.
I got a box like this big of like little postcards, which I'm holding up my hands for those of you on the podcast. So about like a foot or so box filled with little cards. So I'll be painting all of Indianapolis with these damn things, and I will certainly leave some at the booth. You bet.
Awesome. Really happy for you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. What about you, Julian?
I am not going to Gen Con. I did sign up for my pal Trevor Russ has done an online convention in the fall for the last few years, starting in that COVID era. It used to be RPG Alliance Con, and it's been a charity con, and he's typically, I think, done it in October or November. I forget. Anyway, they kind of just reset the whole thing. So it's not RPG Alliance Con, but it's by him and his friend Vicky, and they do a great online con, very organized and stuff. And this year it's called Summer Nights. That's KNIGHTS Con, and it's running in parallel with Gen Con. So even though I can't go to Gen Con this year, I will at least be able to virtually run some games. I'm running Frozen in Time, which, talk about a classic. I'm really super looking forward to that. And then I'm running my new DCC Day Adventure Gods of the Earth.
Nice.
And that will be Sunday. So I'm, going to run a couple level 1 games, kill some characters, drink a few beers online, and that should be pretty fun. So very psyched to get a little bit of gaming in there. And other than that, it has just been head down doing stuff. I'm probably running for president this fall. I've got an exploratory committee that's out there, beating the bushes and finding out how much support I have in the South. And, could I possibly get Nevada and those questions? So, we'll see how that goes.
You got to start by pronouncing Nevada correctly. Just saying.
Yeah, well, Rome wasn't built in a year, or whatever, or however. Anyway, okay. So I think that's pretty much it. Brendan, you've already been telling us about Gen Con, but what else you got going?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. So for me, it feels like Origins just happened to me very recently. So coming off of that, where we had a fantastic organized play session.
Ooh.
Getting ready, which was super cool. But other than that, it's been a lot of Gen Con prep. I am writing not one, but 2 adventures. I've got that I'm working on right now that are, kind of like, living in part of my brain, which is great. And, just just getting ready. It's been, it's been X Crawl. It's been Road Crew. It's been Gong Farmers. It's been a lot of stuff has been going on all at once. But it's all good. It's all been time well spent and a lot of fun. I wish, I don't know. I wish I had more time just to play these days. You know what I mean? Like, it's like getting where, like, I don't play a whole lot. I run a lot of games, but I don't play very much. But like, even for me, this has been a pretty bleak year as far as games go. Although I did run, Tim DeShane just ran us. I played my first game of Liminal Horror. which was pretty fun. I liked it.
Yeah, that's super light, right?
Yeah, it was so light. I just kind of sat. I don't remember rolling any dice, actually. I remember just telling you what I was doing on, and it was a neat story though. So
yeah, cool. Oh, I know I'm going on a turn, but I did wear, just for this occasion, I did wear the t-shirt. Now, you can't see this on the podcast, I don't believe. We haven't advanced our technology to that degree. However, on the YouTubes and the Twitch, I guess you can see it. It looks like some kind of dwarf with a whip or an eel or something, and there's a word balloon, and he's saying, this is a t-shirt. It's on a pink background because these kids with their 80s and stuff. And then there's like a dwarf here, and he's got some kind of whip, and he is saying, Matt Robertson says hello, and he's pointing at this Reagan, cyber Reagan, who has no limbs, who's saying, Mommy, I forgot to duck. Now, I don't think I said mommy in the context. But anyway, this is, of course, a dramatization of the scene at North Texas back in June, where Matt Robertson phoned in a hit on me to Stefan Surratt. And for $20, Stefan Surratt did courteously wait till the end of the Neon Lords game to assassin. So just remember, I'm Jesse James. Stefan is the coward Robert Ford. And that makes Matt Robertson like the governor of Oklahoma or whoever that was. Nebraska, I forget who that was. But anyway, you heard it here first. And but there are t-shirts commemorating this because my characters so infrequently die in games due to my elite player skill level that they make t-shirts when my characters die. So, just saying, it's important to make a note of that. But thank you to Father Goose Jeremy, who put this together. And weirdly, some other drunken incident was also immortalized at North Texas that they made a t-shirt for, and I was totally boondoggled about which thing was which, and anyway, it was very strange. So we had a blast at that con, by the way. But
sounds like it.
Yeah, but anyway, these are limited editions, but I'll probably sell you mine because I'm a little low on beer money. So if you'd like to, hit me at spellburnband@gmail.com with your offer, and we can talk. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program.
That must be an important shirt, Julian. You're actually not wearing your bling.
I know, because it would be in the way of, mommy. I forgot to duck. It's all right. Brendan, I didn't mean. Brendan, did you want to add any other stuff?
Just that. Okay, so it was just DCC Day. Or
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's me transitioning. So DCC Day was hilarious. Was great. I went to my local, my stomping grounds, of course, the Crazy Book Lady in Ackworth, Georgia, which is just an amazing place to play a game, run a game, buy a game. Always have a good time there, and I had fun. I had 12 people show up, and luckily we had another judge there, split off and ran the same adventure as me. Although it seems like, just from listening to them, it seems like they had a very different time of it. But it was a lot of fun. I had
who knew?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of new people and some 5e people who were just, well, the one guy kept just whispering, high risk, high reward. That was my weekend, was advocating high risk, high reward. It was fun. I had a great time.
I mean, DCC is all about high risk, high reward, right? I mean, like,
absolutely,
it's a
legit
freaking game, guys. You're rolling dice, high risk, high reward. Okay, enough said.
I know that we had over 200 stores participating last I saw.
Nice.
And that's in various countries as well. I do know that the UK and EU and parts of Canada will be celebrating theirs later in the year, just based on, transit times and all that. But
I believe
quite a number of kits made.
All right, nice.
Yeah, some shops are running next weekend. This weekend coming up. So,
well, cool. Yeah, very nice. Let's talk about upcoming cool stuff before then we're going to go to emails. So we can quickly hit this stuff. What do we, I mean, first of all, this tiny little side hustle project called Caverns of Thracia, which broke the internet so hard that it took down CrowdStrike. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about
that's why that happened.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, Delta's still recovering.
Yeah.
But it's
Jim Scatch blew the whole thing out.
Oh, yeah, when those 10 unique foil covers were added as a stretch goal, it was just Jim broke the internet. So last I heard, as of 5 p.m. today, was at 555K.
A lot of money.
That's it's pretty good. We thought we were badass. We thought we were badass when Dying Earth was like 350, right? And hey, we
kind of were. That was a very niche group.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm just saying, wow, look at this, 555K. That's badass.
Yeah,
that's pretty great. So, and it's still going. So if you're watching this on Twitch right now, do the needful. You get in there. There's like a billion. There's add-ons. If you do everything just right and you decode the puzzle at the very end of all the add-on items, you might get a free. You might, not saying you will, but you could get a free "Mommy, I forgot to dock" T-shirt with. Okay, probably not.
All right,
okay.
Stop it.
All right, what else? Crowdfunding stuff is going on.
That wraps up tomorrow night. But there's always the chance of overtime with backer kit crowdfunding, so that's going to be a whole new experiment for us.
Overtime.
I know. Mm-hmm. I'm picturing like basketball organ music.
Wow.
We've had DCC third parties go into 24 hours of overtime, because the thing is, each new pledge bumps you by an hour over your slated closing time.
Oh, interesting. They must have changed that, because during Purple Planet Horde, it was like 10 minutes.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Okay,
they might have changed
I may be
it.
talking out of turn, but yeah, something along those lines. I do know that putting additional add-ons in there doesn't count towards it. It has to be new pledges, which kind of stinks, but hey, grab new players.
Wow, that's cool. I did not know such a thing exists. So there you go. You got like 24 hours and then you got OT. So all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're like me, you don't even watch the game. You just turn it on for the OT because you're like,
Of course.
Yeah, right. Because I got.
And there will be a Twitch programming bit to or Twitch and or YouTube and or straight to backer kit. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
All right.
What else?
Yeah. Jeff Demers has got the Cult of the Cave Crickets. It's 9 days left on this baby, and they've successfully funded already. They've got quite a bit so far. They're real close to a print quality stretch goal. I think maybe like $300 away, and then they're 3K away from a bonus one-shot adventure containing more horrific mythos of the Black Mountain. So get in there and back Dark Star Adventures. I think this is their first adventure. He does that DCC Patreon, the monster DCC monster web app thing. So I think this is his first adventure. Big success though for it. People should be getting on that train.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And we got some Patreon news, right?
Oh yeah. So last month, I guess it was this month, July, a bunch of us DCC patron folk banded together, and we decided to cross post from each other. So we had Nick Baran and Bob Brinkman and Christopher Rick and Trevor Stamper and Jeremy Schumann and Daniel Bishop and myself trading posts to our audiences to kind of like show what kind of content we're producing on our Patreons. And so that was, chocolate got into peanut butter and peanut butter got onto chocolate, and it was cool. And in other news, Brian Shutter just opened up his Patreon with suite membership cards and decoder wheels. It's going to be madness. You can't miss that one. And in fact, almost I think everybody's offering a free membership, so you should come on, just sign up on Patreon, become a free member of some of these places, of some of these DCC creators. Show them your love and kind of let them know that you're out there and you care about what they're doing.
Very
Absolutely.
nice. Very nice. Yeah, I will do that. I haven't done any of that free membership stuff. I need to get involved with that. Oh, wow. And we've got a
Oh yeah.
There's
I
so many.
forgot about this one.
Yeah.
I was looking for DCC stuff to post. Good job, Jen, digging up some stuff. Tell us about it.
It's all Stefan.
Was it?
It is Massacre Grounds on Kickstarter. And the link is in the Twitch chat right now. And it is a funnel for Weird Frontiers. And we've got 8 days left to go on that one. We're almost funded. So make with the clickies and make it happen.
Right on.
And that one is from Cranky Clydesdale Publishing. I love it.
And that's a funnel too, right? I think
yeah,
it's a funnel, yeah.
It is a funnel.
Here comes the king.
Yeah, right. Which is good because there's probably not a billion Weird Frontiers funnels, right? So that could be pretty useful for folks, actually.
And if you are going to Gen Con, flex those credit cards now because there's going to be a lot of new third-party stuff coming.
Very nice. All right, we're gonna do a couple of emails. I'm cutting you guys off. You're wasting our time here.
Oh my goodness.
Too much stuff here. Okay. We don't have time to go to the crypt.
You keep asking about Gen Con, and then we've got Brendan here.
There's so much cool stuff going on, but we got to put our Twitch mistress to bed here. She's got a busy couple weeks coming on here, and so do you, Jen. So we got to. Okay, we're gonna do some emails. They're actually pretty short, but this first one's really long. It's from our new pal, Judge Greg McElroy. It's really long. We're not going to read the whole thing. But it is the story, the familiar and yet always awesome story of an old school gamer who's done a lot of gaming, played a lot of AD&D, very close to my heart, then Gamma World and all that good stuff. Sounds like he went into V&V and then Champions. You've obviously got a good head for the math is all I'm going to say. Then, wasn't doing a lot of gaming, adulting, that kind of stuff. Then 5e came along and got the kids into it and picked up some 5e. And then his good friend gave him a DCC core book. And of course, it sat unread around as books do. But I like his story. The book fell open to the corruption page 116, and I was intrigued. I started reading and was instantly hooked. So you are our kind of person, Greg. Thank you very much. If you're brought in by the corruption, then you have found your home. To needless to say, he's been purchasing, voraciously reading stuff. He's in the culture. He's getting third-party stuff, and some of it's fantastic, some of it is just not. So I look for who I know and I add that to the collection. There's reviews out there, and support all the third-party guys and do that. Anyway, he caught up with us on episode 130, yada yada. But he wishes that DCC had a larger presence at the cons he gets to, namely MomoCon and DragonCon, Brendan.
Need to work harder.
Yeah.
You didn't.
The ludicrousness of that is not lost on me.
I mean, Brendan's only running 60 games a con, so come on, Brendan.
Harder.
Well, I did have to miss MomoCon this year, so it's legit. But Foxy went and locked it down. Foxy ran like a ton of games, so I feel
probably
like
nobody. I assume nobody can get in. They're very hard to get into and stuff.
They're booked up.
We we may just need like an Austin Powers mini-me Brendan type. I mean, maybe that's me actually, now that I think about it. 'Cause,
absolutely.
Well, anyway.
You just need a hat.
Here is the worst part from Greg's email. He cannot find players in his area. Facebook group, yada, yada, Goodman Games, Discord, and so forth. So, I corresponded with Greg, and he is in a small town in West Georgia called LaGrange. It's between Atlanta and Columbus. And so here's his contact info. I'll put his stuff. I'll put his contact info on the show notes with his location and stuff. But if you want to get in touch with Greg, you are in that area between Columbus and LaGrange. You're in the LaGrange area, right? That's what it is. So if you're in that area, you can reach out to him at McLeroy, McLeroy at gmail.com, or you can come to spellburnband@gmail.com and we'll put you in touch with him.
Yeah. That's pretty close to Columbus and I think Auburn.
Yeah, there you go. You probably need to get in some of those funky Auburn kids, with their Insta prints and their TikToks and all that good stuff. All right. Well, thanks, Greg, for emailing. I hope you get some folks going. Let us know. Give us an update and tell us how.
Cheers, Greg.
And you're also by Brendan, so you need to go to DragonCon, bribe, cheat, lie, steal, kill to get in that Brendan game, and it'll all be worth it.
I'm out. Goodman Games has never, ever, ever, ever sent me to DragonCon.
No,
DragonCon is its own kind of DragonCon's a fan con, it's anime, it's celebrities, it's a party con. Like it really, I've had a great time, but I did not do any gaming, nor did I see any, but I see the guy from Beastmaster every time I go.
Yeah. Do you do like the little anime maid outfit or something like cosplay?
Wow, if only
some more role playing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Brandon,
afraid that
what we need to do is start selling those Hugh and Shanna plushies.
Hugh and Shanna
They go over like hotcakes over at MomoCon, right?
No, that'd be great. You know who keeps DragonCon locked down is my sister, and she does go. My sister and her fella go, and they not only cosplay, but they change costumes every couple of hours. So they rotating costumes like the entire weekend that they're there. So
now if they switch, now when you said rotating costumes, I literally thought you meant like they start in A and B and then they switch. So he's wearing A and then she's wearing C, and then the next hour he puts on C, and then you know what I mean? Like they have
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, those knuckleheads, cool. But but
whatever.
I guarantee you they change out some accessories over the course of the weekend. I guarantee it. One year, my favorite they've done so far, one year they went as the Space Cowboy and the Gangster of Love. It was the cutest thing you'd ever saw in your life. It was adorable. So,
wow.
But I do go to MomoCon. I had to miss MomoCon this year because I had to go to, I forgot what trade show, but I was there.
ACD?
Maybe it was Alliance.
ACD Alliances.
Oh no! You know what it was? It was the Diamond one. It was Diamond.
Oh,
yeah.
Right,
so I had to miss that for Diamond, which was I wanted to go do Diamond. I'm glad that they had me do it, but I'm sorry I missed MomoCon. I'm really going to try to go next year. MomoCon is like my dream, where I can go and run games all day and then come home and see my wife and pets and eat house food. You know what I'm saying? So every week should be MomoCon. Like MomoCon should be my full-time job. Go run 8 or 12 hours of games. Go the heck home. You know what I mean? Sleep in my own bed.
There you go. And Greg, email the Dark Master and tell him to fly my butt to MomoCon. I'll do it. You got to get me there. That's all. All right.
Yeah.
We got to go on. So next, Banjo, our old pal Banjo Destructo, who may be some sort of pseudonym for a frequent letter writer, has emailed us that he's got a lot of his heavy metal adventures zines on Goodman Games. And I think this was pursuant to a conversation we were having on emails a long time ago. Anyway, I'll put it's the Heavy Metal Adventures zines, and there's a billion of them out here. There is optional class rules. There's goblinoid mutagenesis, which sounds pretty cool. There's the advanced equipment guide, lights and shadows in the dungeon, pantheon, a random pantheon generator. That sounds kind of pretty fun. So I should have actually read these and had my poop in a group, but I didn't. Anyway, maybe next time. But anyway, I will put these in the show notes, and they're all like $2. So you owe it to yourselves, if you're tickled by any of them, to just go buy all of them and support Banjo. Okay? There you go.
Do it.
Do it. And let's talk about DM Kojo, our last email. And this is a really good one. He says, during my 11 years running this amazing game, I have had only a handful of spell duels occur. It's definitely underutilized, but I think they're a ton of fun at the table. One frustration I've had is that when they have been between a PC and NPC, they're very lopsided affairs, favoring the PC due to the ability to spend luck and or spellburn. Since NPC casters don't have these abilities, it typically ends the duel with an overwhelming PC victory. Kojo, using his extensive R&D department, has developed a house rule to deal with this problem and the disadvantage of NPC casters in general, and wants our opinions. So, since NPCs aren't given full ability stats, he allows them to burn their physical saving throw modifiers, reflex and fortitude only, instead of abilities, obviously, on a one-to-one basis. So in other words, the stat block for an NPC, like that of a monster, doesn't have a full strength, intelligence, dex, blah, 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 and agility, blah, blah, blah. So it's, a stat block just has reflex, fort, and willpower. So if the NPC wizard has a +3 reflex save and wants to burn 4 points, they now have a -1 reflex save for the rest of the encounters. So letting them burn down negatively too, which is interesting.
Yeah, but that's only fair because you could get down to a -3.
Right.
Yeah.
To simulate spending luck, I allow an NPC caster to have 1 point of luck available for each hit die level that they have in the stat block. That's an interesting rule. The house rule made a recent spell duel more interesting without unbalancing it too much against the PC. I found that it also made one of my final encounters that was not a spell duel more challenging for my group because it gave the NPC caster a bit of a buff. I can't tell you how many times I've run a caster as a final boss only to roll a bad spell check that couldn't be modified, and then the party rolls over them. So, Kojo, here's what I think. I think we should give this, in the spirit of Spellburn's old, I think we should give this a critical hit, a miss, or a fumble.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I mean, we all weighing in here. I say a hit. Like, I fully agree that if you don't let NPC spellcasters spellburn, then there's no point in doing a spell duel with them because they'll just get steamrolled every time. I don't give them luck because I feel like luck only belongs to PCs, but what I do is I really like his system, but I just pick arbitrary numbers for them and give them to them at the beginning of the battle. If we're going to have a spell duel, especially if there's art, I'm like, okay, that guy probably has a 10 strength, and then I write that down, back out of his armor class and whatnot. But like, yeah, you absolutely have to let NPC spellcaster spell duel. Oh, there's no point unless you only run those for PvP and spell duels, and there's absolutely no point to the spell duel mechanic because they'll just get trounced by a guy who's going to burn 15 points of agility.
Cool. Yep.
And this is a reminder to other DCC authors writing for spellcasting NPCs. Be kind to your judges and include the stats necessary for spell duels. Just a thought.
100%. No, do it.
I think it's kind of it's usual to say what the spell if they have a spell checks, to say what the spell check number is with the spells, and which you could kind of like do the math there too, right? It's like so many hit dice, and then add in modifiers for their intelligence. So I think you can do it that way without expressly saying what their intelligence score is, or at least that's what I usually do. I guess is I take their hit dice and say it's 8 hit dice, it's +8, and I'm going to give them +3 because I want them to be really good, and that's the story.
We do have a spell duel tournament coming up. You can
Yeah.
always do a little homework and check out
Mhm.
Enter the Dagon.
Well, that's PvP then.
That's going to be PvP, right?
It is, but it also isn't.
Until you get to
There's
Dagon.
there's also some. It's not 100% PvP from what I recall reading, but there
Dagon
could
it,
be some
Jim.
NPCs in there.
Take on it.
All right.
I will give it a hit though. I think it's a fair idea to like kind of use the math that's existing on the stat block and to give them a bonus.
Jen, what do you got?
By all means, it's a hit, especially if you can do it quick enough, without spending a whole lot of time on it to take out of your gameplay.
Alana, what do you say? What do you say? Whisper. You call it a hit? Okay. She says it's a hit.
I heard
okay.
it. It's a hit. Yeah.
Yes. All right. I think we have unanimous hit here. I think we have a unanimous hit, Kojo. Good work. I like
idea.
that. I like that quite a bit. I'll just say that I also had a good argument with Judge Mike, a long time ago on the show, and I was like, you don't even have to do them as spells. Just say what the powers do and have them all be powers and just write the results. And he was like, no, it should be spells with spell checks, and that's the way the game, and I think both things can be true.
Yeah.
But but at any rate, it was a spirited discussion way back there. I think it was the Intrigue at the Courts of Chaos episode, if anybody wants to hear indignant Julian have a rules discussion with somebody who actually knows the rules. So enough said. So thank you, Kojo. That was a very cool mechanics thing. I don't think in 134 episodes we have touched that one. So that's pretty cool. Thank you. And we are out of emails, so email us at spellburnband@gmail.com now and forever. All right. Mighty Deeds, we are way down in our Mighty Deeds section of our show. So here we go. Brendan, you've been patiently waiting in the green room and then come out here and done all the heavy lifting, talked all about our upcoming Gen Con stuff, which we're very actually we're all pretty excited about. But now we're going to shift to the other 2024 hotness, which is this whole organized play thing. Now we've been talking about it all year because we saw bits and pieces of it at GaryCon and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's further down the road. So can you just, first of all, just kind of give us the whole overview, please?
Okay, so the organized play program, it's just what it sounds like. It is the opportunity for you as players to participate in a long-form adventure that will have a lot of GMs running for a lot of people that you can all, sort of be a part of, but also it will allow you to have a extant character that you can jump from adventure to adventure that you can then, bring around with you. So it'll allow you to, to potentially, let's be completely honest, it's still DCC. You can potentially bring a character from one adventure to another. So this year, we did a 3-part story arc, the Return of the Slime God, and we ran the first 2 parts at GaryCon, which of course I missed, and then also at Origins, which was fantastic, and it was hilariously fun. I had a really good time. And then we'll be running part 3 at Gamehole. There's also 5E organized play going along, all kind of orchestrated by Chris Doyle, and they are doing Castle White Rock and bits and pieces of Castle White Rock for that, which which is phenomenal. And it's been, it looks, it's nothing but I've heard nothing but good feedback from the 5e players. People are really coming over and enjoying it. We've gathered refugees from other organized play programs who I think maybe have found a home here with us in organized play. So it's been fantastic, and I've been really happy to have been a part of it.
So if I hear you right, there's 3 of these DCC organized play adventures so far. Like a part 1, part 2, part 3 type. As of Gamehole, there will be a part 3.
As of that's a perfect way to put that. As of Gamehole, there will be 3.
Okay. So is it? Are you like level 1 in part 1, level 2 in part 2, and that kind of thing, or is it?
Excellent question. Yes, exactly right. Yeah, it's milestone leveling for this one. Here's the thing. This was like year 0 of it, so we really have been kind of experimenting a lot. So we decided we would go with we decided that we would go with milestone rewards for this particular thing, which will allow someone to actually have a bit of a character arc. So the first adventure is part 1, second one is part 2, third one is part 3, and so if you go through all of them, you're gonna have a third level guy who's like ready to go, possibly scarred for life, but also you've done some raw action. There's a lot of really cool rewards that you can get inside there. So, I've had a lot of really a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I ever would have thought I would have had adapting DCC for organized play. And I haven't adapted very much at all. A lot of it was just deciding, you got to let DCC be DCC and do its own thing. So it's been it's been fabulous.
Did you get to run both of them at Origins?
I mean, we did. I only ran part 2 at Origins a bunch of times. I was supposed to run part 1 at GaryCon, I believe, and it didn't work out.
How's the survival rate is what I'm getting. It was actually what I'm like.
Okay, so straight up,
putting the hammer on him. That's what I like.
Yeah, I've had. I will say that I've had more deaths than usual in organized play than in my standard games. But I've also had I had one group come out complete, like they completely did it, got through the whole thing. I mean, somebody lost a limb, but what's that in the course of adventures? You know what I mean? You can quest for that. Go get you a new leg, pal. But yeah, I had the last group I ran. Oh, God bless them. I had some numbers and it was rough. And it's a rough adventure. It's the whole thing is very, very challenging. Mike Curtis wrote part 1, and it's like, it is not kidding around. And if you go in there smart and organized, and you can do real well. But if people stutter around at it, the consequences can be dire. So. But it was a ton of fun. I think we had a lot of laughs at it, and really, I enjoyed it way more than I will say it's my absolute favorite experience I've ever had with organized play since I was a kid.
That's fair. Totally fair.
I enjoyed running it there. My table did not succeed. I don't think I killed anyone, but they failed at the quest. So you can kind of like run afoul even on time, right? Like
yes, you absolutely can.
You can run out of time.
No, and that's the point of the adventure, is that the how part 1 is completed affects how part 2 runs. If you succeed or fail at part 2, that affects part 3.
And part 2 is timed, right? Like there's various kind of like spots where the adventure kind of changes in shape.
Yeah. If you without giving too much away, there are you are essentially being pursued by outside forces, and as they get closer and closer, they start to affect things inside the actual adventure that you're in. So there you go.
Kudos. I mean, I really enjoyed playing it. Running it,
Yeah, I had a real good time. Like I was kind of like organized play, but like once you actually get in the groove of it, the problem is I think the problem is a way a lot of these programs are set up, and they so I think we had a lot of veterans from those things, and we sort of like we don't have a culture going back to the 80s, you know what I mean, which allowed us to sort of make some different decisions about how it was going to be on 5e and DCC side, and and that all the difference made in this reporter's humble opinion. It was really a really good time. I really enjoyed myself.
I liked a lot.
Go ahead.
I liked a lot of the rewards too. Like there's a lot of like situational kind of like Easter eggs, where the character is kind of changed by the experience in some way. Yeah. Which I don't know if like the classic Adventurers League is kind of like geared that way. It's more like here's all the cool stuff you get. Yeah.
It's gear. And what that leads to are people trying to get to specific adventurers with specific characters and trying to get away with specific bits of loot that fills in the gaps in their 20 level character scheme.
The classic meta game.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, so we're trying to get away. We're specifically trying to get away. That's never been DCC, So we're specifically trying to get away from that. So this is not it's not a way. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's stuff inside there, but it's not like a place where you're just going to hype up and like come out with, you know, 2+2 bastard swords or whatever.
They're great, flavorful awards. You know, they're not.
I hope so. And, you know, I honestly, that was all Mike really sort of like created that form of it. And it's like so many things. Mike will throw this casual stuff out like, oh, here's fleeting luck. And oh, here's, you know, rewards for DCC organized play. And then of course you look at it, you're like, oh, that's fantastic. That's so good. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy with, the way it's gone so far. I mean, I think it's just been, you know, really having a lot of fun with it.
Are there any, differences in the rules for the organized play?
We do have some, okay. Specifically, there is a it's not a cap, but there's a rule for excessive spellburn that we actually gaffled from Steve Newton. So you know, the gods are all watching this one. These are cosmic events that are playing out on a small scale. So spellburn they take very seriously. And if you do too much spellburn, there's a table. If you go over a certain amount, you have to roll on this table. And you know, it can be pretty mild or it can be pretty intensive depending on how well or poorly you roll. So you know, and it's like everything in DCC. The more spellburn you burn in excess of the limit, the higher the percent chance you're going to get a pretty gross consequence, higher dice to roll it up. So, but it's you know, and it's interesting too. It's like, so we're talking 3-hour sessions here. So it really like people were minding their P's and Q's as far as their spellburn went. Like people were really playing it close until they weren't. And then it was like, let's just go for it. And that was super fun, you know? But we are letting GMs bring their own house rules into DCC. You can't help it. I think for a game like DCC that is so intentionally set up to be a judge's medium compared to some other things. So it's not like a lot of organized play. They really lock you down with rules to keep everything. So there's a rule for every specific situation. DCC can't do that. It's just not that game. So, you know, allowing judges to kind of like run the games in their native language, I think has made a huge difference to overall gameplay. And, you know, you don't see people, that's the thing, every organized play thing I've ever done. I've only done D&D organized play in the past, but it was guys with their nose in books the whole time trying to figure out what the consequences of whatever it was, you know? And instead, it's still our organized play style. You know, I know, Jen, you know what I'm talking about. Our organized play DCC still flows like organized play DCC. Still flows like regular DCC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, it was super fun, and I'm getting like excited thinking about it and how the adventures went. But it was a good time. I you know,
so
looking forward to next year.
So coming up, we got Game Hole.
Part 3.
Are all 3 of the parts going to be run?
Yeah, there'll be a few sessions of part 1, a few sessions of part 2, and then a whole lot of sessions of part 3 will all be going on there. So
now if you were the kind of donkey who didn't sign up for any of these prior, you can show up and we will give you a pre-gen, or if you have according to Crom character that you wanted to of the appropriate level that you want to jump in, you can add them with GM approval. And that GM approval is in case someone's got like, oh, I got the +3 Heartbane sword that also has a built-in minigun or some nonsense that, you know, for my homebrew thing. We've all been to MCC World and we all have lasers or some nonsense. So no, I get you. So very cool. I think that's very interesting. So is Game Hold the only other appearance this year for the
this year it is, but with your permission, I actually have a announcement about next year's program that I've been saving up for game. Once I knew I was going to be on here, I kept it under my COVID cap to share here with all of y'all.
Alana, bring out the trumpets. Alana, bring out the. Okay, sorry, we sprung that on her.
Yeah. So as of now, obviously things might change. Things are always in flux here, but the plan for right now is we are going to do 4 organized play DCC side adventures for next year, and they are all going to be DCC taking place inside of actual Castle White Rock.
Ooh.
So we are going to Yeah, right. So we're gonna go back to it. Mike's involved, obviously. It's gonna be it's very, very exciting. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay. Very cool. But there are like, I don't know, somewhere between 30 and 60% of our listeners have no idea what Castle White Rock is. So we need to give them a quick, like the 20-second rundown.
All right, the quick version is Castle White Rock is a mega dungeon created by Michael Curtis. It's amazing, and it's like it's the mega dungeon. You know what I'm saying?
3.5 era, right?
Yeah. That's exactly right. And so watch for updates and watch for things in the skies. But it's going to be really interesting.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we can assume that we will see some of that at GaryCon 2025, hopefully, right? I mean,
yes.
That's the plan.
An early installment, hopefully.
Early installment. Yeah, we're talking about doing it early. Obviously, things are always in flux around here. Obviously, it's turbulent times,
Yeah.
But good turbulence. This is gonna be great turbulence. So there should be a DCC side organized play component to GaryCon in 2020. I had to look at what year it is.
Yeah,
2025.
Right? I'm officially old.
I know.
Crazy.
Dude, don't get me. I got 54 coming up next month. 54.
I got it this month. This month, baby.
Really?
This month. Yeah. Next
Okay,
week.
Grandpa.
Yeah. See?
Oh, 55 in November.
Wow.
Look at this.
Well,
you got the
it's
beard.
like AARP land for me.
Yeah.
I know, right?
But you can do all your retirement like stuff. Like anyway. Jen, did you have a final question on the 5e angle here? Did you want to bring forward?
I actually have some information as I'm looking at the handy dandy chart that Chris gave me. Chris Doyle, our 5e developer. It looks like starting on Thursday at Gen Con, you could actually play your way from, I guess we're calling it scenario number 1 through number 4 all in one day.
Ooh.
So,
And that's in Castle White Rock, right?
Oh, okay, cool.
Friday you can play all 4, and then Saturday you can play 2 through 4.
Oh,
So there's varying numbers. It actually looks a little bit like the phlogiston disturbance chart, the way things kind of angle across the page. So yeah, you can play a number 1 on Thursday and Friday, and you can get all the way up to 4 both days.
Okay, here's the excellent time travel paradox. Twitchers and listeners, go play at a Gen Con, Castle White Rock 5e. Go play DCC Castle White Rock next year as it comes available. Michael Curtis will kill you in 2 systems from like 18 years ago. He's firing a bullet. He's firing a bullet from 2002 that goes like friggin' 20 years in the future and bangs your brains out in 2 different realities. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty cool.
He planned that like Sister Stage.
Right?
Two for the price of 1. You're
right.
all in trouble. So watch yourselves.
All right. Well, great. Hey, good overview. This is really exciting stuff. I'm going to have to see if I can bribe my way into a game and see if I can pick up one of these guys. That sounds like a lot of fun. So we are over time on it. Has very patiently not been reining us in. She's very accommodating, but she just told me yes, but she did just tell me that she's taken my scotch away if we don't start picking it up here. So it's time to wrap her up. So folks, I just want to say thank you very much, DJ LaBoss, for hanging out. Always great to see you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
And Jen and Brendan and James, I'm wishing you guys all a very, very fortuitous, prosperous, and especially fun Gen Con. I also got to say, I kept meaning to say this, didn't Judge Job, I want to take it way back to the old Spellburn days, didn't Judge Job's daughter win one of the Spellburn tournaments like in 2015 or something? The first one? When we were in the JW Marriott.
I want to say that was a regular tournament. I want to say that was an actual adventure tournament.
I was
As I
running
recall.
that. Anyway,
Haley Sketch won the Spell Duel tournament. Oh
Way
no,
back.
she killed. Yeah, she enlarged and fell and killed Tim's guy. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't think she.
well,
And Emily Mundy won in 2015 or 16.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
anyway,
if you have a teen or tween at home, bring them to the convention.
yeah,
Sign them up for a tournament. This is their moment.
yeah. Spell duel tourneys are great for that. So,
the gods are with the young.
yes. All right.
And they're great if you only have half an hour to kill and you don't want to commit to a 4-hour block.
100%. A mega thanks to Glitter Wizard and Loot the Body and St. Karloff, our recent guests, for giving us permission to use their music. We'll get this up on Spellburn with the links in the notes soon. Don't forget to email us often and early at spellburnband@gmail.com. We need some more emails, so keep them coming. Thank you, Judge Jim and Bob, for all your back scene, behind the curtain support. And of course, Twitch Mistress Selena. And of course, everything's on spellburn.net. So please keep going there, checking us out. And that's it. Thanks, guys. And game on.
Cheers.
Have a great night, everyone.